Hey everybody, today it's time for another midweek distraction from regular politics. We've got a coin flip battle. This time it's going to be an all Wisconsin edition. We've got U.S. Senator Ron Johnson for the Republicans and Governor Tony Evers for the Democrats. Not really a probable matchup, but these are two prominent politicians in a purple state. So let's hope we get an exciting showdown. Heads for Johnson and tails for Evers. Let's get into the first state. That's going to be Alaska. Here it is. This is tails. Alaska is going to go to Evers. Next state, Hawaii. 4 electoral votes. And another one for Tony. We're going to go up to Washington State now. 12 votes. Here's the flip. Ron Johnson looking for heads. He's got it. He jumps into the lead. Next, we go south. We go to Oregon. 8 votes. This is heads again for Ron. Next state, it's going to be California. You know they've got a ton of votes, 54 of them. Let's not wait any longer. Let's do the flip. Here it is. This is tails. That's coming to Tony Evers. Johnson got to play catch up. Let's do Nevada. 6 votes. This is tails for Evers. Next state, we've got the gem state of Idaho. This is going to be heads for Ron Johnson. Next, Utah. 6 votes for Tony Evers. Tails. Next, we're going to go down to the border. We've got Arizona. 11 votes waiting to be snatched. And those are going to go to Ron Johnson. Next, it's going to be Montana. 4 votes in this flip. Tails. Coming to Evers. Next, Wyoming. 3 more on the table. Tony Evers, he's getting them. Next, Colorado. 10 votes. Tails again. Evers, 3 straight. How about New Mexico, land of enchantment? 5 votes for Tony Evers. He's on a streak. Let's see if Ron Johnson can snap out of it on North Dakota. 3 votes. Heads. Johnson snaps out of it. Let's do South Dakota. Another 3. Heads for Ron Johnson. Nebraska at large is next. 2 votes. Heads again. Johnson now on a streak of 3. Let's do Nebraska's first. This is tails. Here comes Tony Evers. He's got 1 more. Here comes Nebraska's second. That is heads for Ron Johnson. Next, it's going to be Nebraska's third. And this is going to go to Evers. Next, it's Kansas. 6 electoral votes. Heads for Johnson. He's up to 50. Evers at 97. Let's do Oklahoma. 7 votes. The Sooner State. Coming to Ron Johnson. Now we're going down to Texas. 40 votes. Johnson coincidentally trails by 40. This flip is highly consequential, so let's do it. This is heads. Ron Johnson, just like that, he ties it up. And we're back to even at 97 apiece. That's what we'd like to see. Let's head up to Minnesota. 10 votes. Who's going to break the tie? It's going to be Tony Evers. He's over 100, and he has sole possession of first place. Let's do Iowa. The Hawkeye State is coming to Ron Johnson, who joins Evers, over 100. Next, it's Missouri. We're going to show these 10 electoral votes to Ron Johnson, who has his first lead since Oregon. Evers down by 6, and look what's next. It's Arkansas. 6 votes. This could be a tie. Let's see what happens. And it is going to go to Ron Johnson, though. So Johnson now opens up a 12 electoral vote lead. We're going to keep going down to the Gulf. We've got Louisiana. They've got 8 of them. That's going to be heads. That's coming to Ron Johnson, who takes a streak of 4 into his home state of Wisconsin. Both of them clamoring to win this state. It's been back and forth so far. Let's see what happens. Here comes the flip. It's heads. Ron Johnson does it again. 5 consecutive states. Evers now trails by 30. If Johnson can come back from way more than that, Evers can do the same at 30. Let's keep going. We've got Illinois, 19 votes. Johnson looking for 6 straight. But it's tails. It's going to go to Evers. He's got it blue Illinois. Now we've got another Rust Belt state. It's going to be Michigan. 15 of them at stake. Who's getting them? Ron Johnson. He's claiming 15 more in Michigan. That takes us to Indiana. 11 votes. Here comes the flip. Heads again. Ron Johnson opens up a bit of a lead. Next, it's Kentucky. It's 8 votes. And we've got tails. It's coming to Tony Evers. Next flip, it's Tennessee. 11 votes. That is tails again for Tony Evers. Next state, it's Mississippi. We've got another 6 here. Who wants him? Tony Evers, he's got him. He's got 3 in a row, and we're going to go to Alabama. Here comes another 9 EVs. That's another one for Tony Evers. That puts him up to 160. Johnson at 163. They're only separated by 3. Look what's next. We've got Florida. We've got 30 electoral votes. Either Johnson's going to be up by 33 or Evers is going to be up by 27. Let's do the flip. And it looks like Evers is going to be up by 27. He regains the lead. Great battle here. Eventually somebody's got to give, but we're going to keep going to Georgia. Here comes 16 more votes. The Peach State is coming to Ron Johnson. He's put a big dent in his deficit. Evers ahead by 11. Let's do South Carolina. This is a slow flip, but it's tails. It's coming to Evers. Next, it's going to be North Carolina. Here's the flip. This is heads. It's coming to Ron Johnson. He's only down by 4, and one of them is going to go over 200 on the next state. That's Ohio. Here comes the flip. This is tails. Tony Evers, the first one over 200. Let's do West Virginia. Here's the flip. And it's heads. It's coming to Ron Johnson. Now we go to the northeast corner. We've got Maine, and it's at large. Couple of votes here. Tails. It's going to Tony Evers. Next, Maine's 1st congressional district. A single electoral vote for Tony Evers. Next, Maine's 2nd. This is another vote for Ron Johnson. That puts him at 200. Next, it's New Hampshire. 4 of them. And that is heads for Ron Johnson. The next state is Vermont. Who's going to swipe these 3 electoral votes? That's going to be Tony Evers. The next state is New York. 28 votes. An absolutely critical state. Johnson is down by 18. He doesn't want to lose this state. Evers would get close to the White House if he picks it up. Let's do the flip. Here it is. This is heads. It's coming to Ron Johnson, who regains the lead again. Tony Evers now down by 10. But Tony could come right back on the base state. It's Massachusetts. 11 votes. Here's the flip. But it's heads. It's going to go red for Ron Johnson. Now Evers again with a deficit. Let's do Connecticut. Lucky 7. Here's the flip. This is tails. It's coming to Tony Evers. Next, we've got Rhode Island. 4 of them. This is heads. It's coming to Ron Johnson. Next, the Garden State, New Jersey. A good chunk of votes here late in the battle. 14 of them. Here's the flip. This is tails. Tony Evers, he needed him, and he's got him. Johnson now ahead by 4. Next state, Delaware. 3 electoral votes. Here's the flip. That is tails again for Tony Evers. And look at this. Johnson only ahead by 1. This is a terrific duel as we head into Maryland. 10 votes. Here's the flip. It's tails. Tony Evers again regains the lead. That's going to take us to D.C. 3 of them. Here's the flip. That is heads. Ron Johnson at 250. Tony Evers at 256. And we actually could be looking at a 269 tie if Ron Johnson wins Pennsylvania and Tony Evers wins Virginia. Otherwise, if Tony Evers gets this state, he's won it. Ron Johnson needs to win both of these final flips. This is super intense stuff. Let's do the flip for PA. Here it is. That is tails, and that's it. Tony Evers clinches it on the Keystone State after another brutal battle. The Republican Ron Johnson comes up just short, but we've got one final flip. Here comes Virginia. 13 votes, and that is heads for Ron Johnson. So take a look at this total. We've got Tony Evers at 275, Ron Johnson at 263. And there's no denying they gave us a great show, just like last week in Georgia. But the Democrats maintain a little bit of momentum here. We came close to a 269-269 tie. But short of that, we did have a bunch of lead changes back and forth throughout the entire map. Johnson does have some bragging rights on winning his home state of Wisconsin, but they both split the big four heavy electoral vote states. So it looks like this time Evers wanted it just a little bit more than Johnson. So let me know in the comments, what did you think about this Johnson-Evers-Wisconsin showdown? Are you glad Evers pulled it out? But even if you were pulling for Johnson, I'm sure you had a pretty good time on this one. Let me know what you think down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.